Time now is 8:26 a.m. in the morning on March 7th. Um Fuck me. So I slept from 4:45 to 8:25. Last night I did nothing but study. Um I didn't watch any movies as I have planned. I didn't do anything else. I didn't edit videos. Um, I only studied. And it's just like, you know, it's just a lot. It's just, I don't know, because the last few days I haven't studied art history at all. So I'm basically just studying all at once suddenly. And it's just so much information. And it's so much more than last time. And it's just crazy. And I kept going and going and going. I wanted to take breaks. And then at 4 a.m. or at 3:45, I'm like, oh yeah, the religion class readings. Then I started doing the religion class readings. There's so much shit. There's like, we have to read 5 chapters in one book plus another chapter in another book. So 6 fucking chapters for religion class. I skimmed over some of them. That's it. So at 4:15, I'm like, screw it. Fine. I'll just, you know, I've finished the readings. I'm ready to sleep. So I took a shower and then I went to bed. And I couldn't fall asleep. I don't know why. Maybe I'm stressed out for the midterms. But I just couldn't fucking sleep at all. It's crazy. I'm already tired. I'm sleepy, but I can't sleep. And I think at around 6:30 I woke up again. Um and I feel like I haven't slept at all. Yeah, around 6:30 ish. And it was already sun, like the sun has risen already. So yeah, I feel like absolute shit. I feel like absolute shit right now, and I don't know why I didn't fall asleep immediately. Um but yeah, today is the last day before spring break. So um I'm gonna go back to bed today. After school, I'm gonna go back to bed. It's almost like back in the DSEs when, after the exam, I would just go back home and just sleep. I'm gonna do that today. Um, yeah, I definitely need to do that. I don't care about sleeping early or not tonight. All I care about is an afternoon nap because I feel like absolute shit. And this is bad. Studying is important, but um, having the energy to do an exam is also very important, and I clearly don't right now. So, yeah. I also hate that this room smells like grilled onions. Um, because I had dinner in my own bedroom yesterday, and I don't really know how to expel that smell. Like, I opened the door and everything, and it still smells. And right now, it still smells like it's been smelling like that all night. It's probably that. If I can't sleep, it's the stress because of the midterms plus that. Yeah. Okie dokie. Time now is 2:15 p.m. Just came back home. I'm still in my street shirt. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna take a shower and go back to bed. I'm so absolutely fucking sleepy. Yeah, I felt like shit, and that's very bad for doing the exams. The religion class is okay. I certainly kept falling asleep, but I tried my best. But there's so many moments where I would just zone out. And first half of the class, there's a guest speaker. And I feel a little bad because he doesn't know me. He just sees me falling asleep. And I'm not the only person who keeps falling asleep. The other Chinese guy, Carl, who I spoke to the first time I went to this class, he straight up just fell flat asleep on the table. To be fair, he's only sitting in, but yeah. So, so there's that. And also the professor is sick, so she went over Zoom. She did the lecture over Zoom, which is less fun. But the topic of today is about Apocrypha, which is supposed to be very fun, but yeah, I'm just dying inside. And again, I'm worried about art history midterms. So I rushed all the way over to art history, to DMC. Thank God I was not late, but I almost was. I was there right on the dot at 12:30. So I didn't really have time to do some like, which is like right before the end you hug the Buddha's feet. And it's funny because this midterms is about Buddhism. This is the Buddhism midterms. It's kind of ironic. So I pulled out my laptop, opened it, turned it on, opened the art history notebook just to look at it for 2 seconds, and then shut off the laptop again. So anyways, we started doing the art history midterms, and honestly, it's not bad. I feel like I could have gone a little harder, but given that it is a memory game, and given how hard I fucking tried, even during religion class, I was looking at art history notes. And then while walking over to DMC, I was looking at my phone, and in my phone there are photos of the art history notebook. So I'm really trying hard to win this, to win this midterms, win this game, But yeah. But for the reading check-in for religion class, I flunked it, basically. There are 3 questions, and all 3 of them are like essay-sized. I dedicated so much time yesterday to art history, I didn't read much of the religion. I skimmed over them, but it didn't really help. Not really. But it's okay, because that's less important. But, yeah. That's that. And, yeah, after class, I saw North's Instagram story. For APCA, she's doing this pie in the face thing where if you pay a certain amount of money, you can pay someone to slap a cream pie on her face. Yes, a cream pie. And also like order coffee. I kind of wanted to check that out, but she said Village Walkway near THH. The Village is all the way over there. THH is the Humanities Hall, Taper Hall, which is all the way over there. So I went to both spots and I can't find her. So at the end, I'm like, screw it. I just want to go home and sleep. Anyways, so I just screwed it. But, yeah, that's the plan. That's it. Nothing else. Nada. Whatever. Beans on toast. I'm very hungry right now. I'm going to eat some, like, sour worms, and then I'm just going to go to bed and maybe sleep for 3 hours. I don't know. But, I even left early. Like, I left around, like, 1:30 instead of 1:50 class end time, but I wrote really fucking fast because there's no clock. So I always think that I'm running out of time. So I wrote so fast, my hand's actually hurting. Also, like, okay, yeah, you can see, like, some ball pen marking here. That's how you know how hard I wrote. Yeah, and then I spoke with Carter, the other guy who I went to the museum with a little bit after the exam. He's like, oh, it's okay. So yeah, hopefully we win this. Hopefully I get all A's for this semester. I think the only class that I'm struggling to get an A right now is Film 2, not Film 2, 394. I think all the other classes I have a great chance of getting A's. I have no idea about religion class because there has not been any assignments so far. It's been half a semester. There have not been any assignments. But I'm pretty confident I can get A's for all the other classes. So, yeah. Okay, time now is 9:01 p.m. Um fuck. Yeah, so as you can probably tell, I went back to sleep um from around 3 p.m. And I plan to wake up at around 6:15, or 5:15 actually. Or was it 6:15? I forgot. Fuck. And I didn't immediately fall asleep, but I did eventually fall asleep, and it was very comfortable. And then around 5-ish o'clock, 5:45, I realized that I'm actually awake and I'm not sleeping. And I'm really, really cold. I'm unnaturally cold. My fingers and my feet are shivering, and my entire body feels very cold. And I try to wrap myself around with the blanket, but I still feel very cold. So I sort of turn on the heater, and I couldn't fall back asleep. So the alarm rang, and I woke up, and oh my god, I feel like absolute shit. I was freezing. My fingernails turned purple, my toenails turned purple, and I feel like my head is hurting, it feels heavy, and I feel a little dizzy. Um, and then I'm like, oh shit, I have a fever. So yeah, I have a fever right now. I don't know why. I think it's because today, like the spring break, is a day that I've been waiting for so long, and it suddenly happened, and I got the PS, the post-exam syndrome. But it has never happened to me back in community college because, you know, the exams were never tough. I'm surprised I didn't get sick after Film 33. Uh, but, yeah. But actually, I think the better answer is because yesterday it was raining and my feet were soaking wet and cold for over 6 hours. I'm glad I didn't have fever this morning and I was able to focus on the exam and everything. But right now it has finally happened and I feel like absolute shit. I don't have appetite. Even so, I forced myself to eat a cup noodle and a fried egg, but I'm under calories right now. I'm not hungry right now. I feel really tired. I don't want to do anything. I kept scrolling through Instagram for a while now. Um, I just feel very terrible. So I took a Advil pill, which is nice. I think it helped slightly. But I want to find my Japanese medicine bottle, but I don't know where it is. I have no idea where did I put it because I haven't taken it out since I've moved in here. But yeah, it's got to be somewhere. Maybe it's in one of the luggages. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it's good that I don't have a class tomorrow and everything. It's good that all my assignments are done and I have nothing to do or worry about. Um, I hope this fever goes away in a couple of days. I really do. Fingers crossed. I found a thermometer, albeit a shitty one, and placed it in my mouth, and it's 37.2 degrees, but if it's in my mouth it's 37.2, then in my heart it's probably 38 or something, which is too high. So, yeah, I do have fever now. Um, my room still smells. I don't know what the fuck is that smell. It smells like shrimp. I fucking hate it. But yeah, tomorrow I won't go anywhere. That's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm sick. Just one more wrench. But yeah, at least I'm not going to New York, and I'm freezing even more. Um, I don't know about the Oscars watch party. If the Oscars watch party is not a thing, then I'll just ask Michelle if, you know, she has a TV at her place, I think. So, yeah. All right. Found it. Found the thing. Woohoo. All right, it's 12:17. Quick update here. I just finished dinner very slowly. It's salmon tortellini fried with nothing but oil and bits of salami shredded onto it and some parmesan and then chopped salad kit. It's a fucking terrible meal. I give it a 3 out of 10. The fish is rotten. I didn't expect it to go bad this fast because I only bought it. I think I went to Ralph's on Monday, I believe, and today's Thursday, so it's just 3 days. Um, but still, like, what the fuck? And then while I was cooking the fish, and I flipped the fish, um, the hot oil sort of splashed onto me, and landed on my finger here and some on my feet. And holy fuck, does it hurt. Thank God it's like a very minor burn. And I was able to wash my finger with cold water immediately. But yeah, goddamn it hurts. I was scared that it's gonna blister and go bad, and it's gonna leave a scar on me that's permanent. Thank God it didn't do that, and it's been a whole hour and a half since that incident, and now I'm feeling better, so that's great. I don't have aloe vera on me right now, so I can't handle burns. It's not part of the plan. I already have a fucking fever, and I'm eating rotten fish. The fish smells rotten. It smells like fridge, and it's gooey, and it also doesn't have skin. But either way, the pan is really sticky. When I was frying the fish, it stuck to the pan. When I was frying the tortellini, it got stuck to the pan. This pan is garbage, and I need a new pan desperately. So I'm gonna buy a new pan. I feel a little better though in terms of fever. I still feel migraines all over my head. Um, but I don't have cold hands and feet. I think the Tylenol pill kind of worked. But yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully the fever goes completely tomorrow. I'm gonna do the laundry tomorrow. I'm gonna call Cedric as well tomorrow. Oh my god, my hair. I love it. So ugly. Yes, let's make it uglier. Yes. Woo! Fantastic. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. Okay, time now is, um, 12:50, on March 8th. First day of spring break. I slept from 5 to 12:45. Yeah, 5 a.m. So last night didn't even, I didn't even, I don't know, I didn't do anything at all. I was just so tired. I did finish watching Io Capitano, the movie, but I had to skip around. Um, but yeah, not productive at all, but it's okay because I was sick. Right now I feel a little better. There's still a little migraine, but the sleep is really good. Really good sleep. Like, naturally waking up, it's really, really good feeling. Um, and, yeah. I don't think I'll go anywhere today. Um, not sure actually. Maybe I'll go to Trader Joe's to buy some food or H Mart. Uh, or maybe I can do that tomorrow. But yeah, I feel a little better. Last night I took two. Last night I was shaking while I was taking a shower. I was shaking, trembling because I was so cold and my teeth was like you know? But I think after the shower, it got better. And also because of the Japanese medicine. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the fever ends tonight ish. Um, but yeah, yeah, I have nothing to say. No news, no notifications. If anything, I'll just do the normal shit today. I'll film something, edit something, watch something. I'll work on the Film 33 documentary. Also, the photography professor from my community college hasn't responded to me on email, so I gotta email him again. Uh, yeah, fuck. I didn't expect letters of recommendation to be the hardest part in the application. I really didn't see that coming. Um, yeah. Alright, time now is 4:05. I feel like absolute shit. My head hurts. I have no motivation to do anything. Um, I'm supposed to be hungry right now because all morning I've only had a bowl of cereal. Um, fuck. So I don't know what to do. I don't have the food to make myself lunch. I have no idea. And even if I do, I wouldn't have the energy to make myself lunch. I've thought about going to DoorDash, but honestly, eh, like you know, fucking I don't know, it's expensive and everything. So why don't I just walk to Taco Bell and just buy some tacos for myself? So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, I think. It sucks because I have a fever and I'm walking, but yeah. Why the hell am I having so much fever? Like, I had a fever with the vaccine, I believe, and then in October last year or November, I had fever while watching Killers of the Flower Moon. I just keep having fevers. I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like shit. I don't know. This morning is just no interesting notifications, no human interactions, nothing to be excited about. Everyone's hanging out with other people and getting girlfriends and boyfriends, and everyone's doing something, and I'm just sort of isolated with the rest of the world, I feel like. Um, but there's something interesting, however, and that is Luis on the giant Instagram group chat asked if we could all watch Dune 2 together, so I think we're gonna do that, hopefully at some point in the future. But yeah, we'll see. Um, yeah, I wrote a couple emails. I emailed the photography professor again. Jesus Christ, please write me a letter of recommendation. I asked my second aunt on like recommended locations for Santa Barbara. And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure, you know." And then yeah, and that's it. I don't know. It's just gonna be another sad spring break again. Like every spring break is depressing as fuck. Last spring break I was in love with a girl and I couldn't see her, and this spring break I'm just gonna be isolated and sick, I guess. And the first spring break I had back in April of 2022, I was sort of like sad and crying because I have no friends. Like I just keep failing. It's been 3 spring breaks. I don't know. I'm not sure APC will do an Oscars watch party thing. I really want to because I can't do it alone. I can't watch the Oscars alone because I literally don't have the subscription to the TV or whatever. And watching with friends is way better, you know. I'm gonna see if Michelle could do that with me if APC is not doing anything. But part of the reason why I want to go for APC is because I just want to meet more people in USC, meet more interesting people. I just kind of want to do that, you know. Um, yeah. I don't know. I feel very stuck. I feel stuck, and I feel I'm not going anywhere, am I? Like, I don't know, there's no goal at the end of the day. Like, I think for the most part in 2023, the first half of 2023, I have two main goals. One is Leslie, I want to, be with her. One is I want to succeed in Film 33, and I failed in both. Second half of 2023 was gaining 20k Hong Kong dollars and getting into the film industry of Hong Kong. I also failed both. I almost got 20k though, don't get me wrong, but I also failed both. It's kind of depressing, ain't it? Just keep failing. What was my goals for 2022? I guess I was sort of goalless in 2022. Maybe the second half of 2022, my goal was to just like meet more people and, make movies. I guess that kind of worked out, But yeah, I wish I could fall in love fast. I wish someone would be interesting to me. Like, I don't know. I think, yeah, I wish, every time I fall in love with someone, and that's 2 times anyways, it's always like just pain and torture, but at least you have a goal, you have agenda, It's almost a little depressing how, like, if you're not in love, you're goalless, and you don't have any purpose to, like, to anything, and then if you're in love, it's just going to be torture. Love is kind of torturous, honestly, like, being in love with Leslie, especially, I think it still feels nice during March and April, but, like, May and June was just nightmarish for me. So maybe being in love is a bad idea. I should just be a aromantic asexual. I think that would be like the safest thing I could do to avoid emotional damage. But I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's only been 8 weeks at USC anyways. Who cares? Here it is. Alright. Taco Bell. So got a cheesy gordita wrap. And then we have a chicken enchilada burrito. Enchilada and burrito at the same time. Genius. I actually know nothing about Mexican food, so don't be angry. I also just realized that there's no sauce. Oh well. It's fine. Alright, this is chicken enchilada burrito. What's inside? Oh, there's rice in this thing. That's why it's weird. They have rice in here. What the heck? All right, time now is 11:58 p.m. Just finished dinner, which is rice, pork chunks, and bok choy. Really simplistic dinner. Not lunch, it's dinner. I give it like a 4 out of 10. Um, doesn't taste bad, but also it just tastes like hospital food. But yeah, so today I'm feeling a little better today. I think partially it's because I'm taking the pills now. Right after I woke up, I immediately took an Advil pill, and then before dinner, I also took another Advil pill, and then tonight before bed, I'm gonna take a couple Japanese pills. So I feel a little better. So yeah, as expected, nothing important happened today. No human interactions, basically none, I guess. Yeah, I think there are zero like in person, like in real life, physical interactions. There are none. Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought today would be a little productive, but honestly, I spent most of the day doing nothing again, listening to music, looking at YouTube videos, just looking at Instagram reels again and again and again for hours straight. I haven't watched anything yet, even though I plan to watch a movie and 2 TV episodes today, which is a lot, but yeah, I haven't done that yet. I will try to do that later. I plan to edit a bunch of stuff, but I ended up getting distracted. What I did, however, is go to Taco Bell. I didn't expect myself to go outside today, but I was forced to because I ran out of food, and it was a wise decision. I took a bus, went there. It was about like a 5 minute walk from the bus stop to Taco Bell. I ordered a taco and a burrito. And then I just took it back home because why not? It's about maybe 15 minutes ish. Um, going back home, honestly, not bad. If I order DoorDash, it'll probably take more than 15 minutes for when after the food is done and then the driver takes it here. So I might as well just do it myself. And yeah, Taco Bell, it's the first time I've had Taco Bell since a long, long time ago. And it tastes worse than I imagined. It's so. The first time I had Taco Bell, I'm like, ooh, it tastes like Mexican. But like, now that I guess I'm a little bit more familiar with how Mexican food tastes like, this just doesn't feel authentic to me at all. Obviously, it's Taco Bell. There's no guacamole on it, there's no salsa, there's nothing. But it's also not as good as I remembered it is. But it's still like already 100 times better than whatever I would have cooked for myself. But yeah, basically that's that. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. I don't really have much else to talk about. I really don't. I just want to meet people and talk to people and go out and have fun. I remember the Tatami Galaxy. Seize the day, carpe diem. What am I doing here? You know, I want to go out and live and do something interesting. I want something interesting to happen to me and not just film. Even though I would love to get onto a film set and whatever and start expanding my circle. Because going to classes in USC is definitely not the way to meet people. Super isolated. Um. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Um. I was supposed to call Cedric. But Cedric, I texted him. I was like, hey, let me know when you're free, and he hadn't responded. I texted him at 5 p.m., which is about 8 or 9 a.m. in Hong Kong time, so it's Saturday morning for him. And we agreed last week that we'll call on Saturday morning. I guess he just forgot. I guess it's because I don't really matter to him that much. So yeah, my hot oil burn on my finger feels way better now, but it still hurts a bit whenever I have hot water on it. I'm sure it'll heal, and I guess that's it. Nothing else to talk about today. Tomorrow I'm going to H Mart. I have to go to H Mart because I'm running out of food. I want to get sushi. I'm gonna have a sushi night. This is yeah, we should bring back the sushi night tradition. You know, back then I would go to Nijo Market for sushi. Right now we go to freaking, H Mart for sushi. Back in the Hong Kong days, every single month we would go to Aeon to get sushi, but right now we go to H Mart. It's gonna be not as good and it's gonna be hella expensive, but you know what? It's worth it. I'll get a sushi, I'll get an onigiri, and tomorrow I'll try to brew apple pear pork soup. Should be the easiest soup to brew out of the 3 soups I can brew here. Yeah, apple pear pork soup. I wanted to brew it today, but I just didn't have the energy to. And nothing else. I actually read an entire chapter of JoJo last night right before dinner. I was very encapsulated, and today I opened up volume 8, and I read half a chapter, and I kept reading the next page and the next page. It's getting really interesting and really fun. So I'm really enjoying it. I hope my fever goes away tomorrow. So tomorrow H Mart, Sunday. If APCA is not doing any Oscars night thing, I guess I'm just gonna go watch it with Michelle. I asked Michelle if it's okay, and she's like, yeah, sure. So yeah, I'll go to Michelle's place. Whatever, But yeah. Then in that case, I think there's also a possibility, if I sleep early, I might as well go to church, And then, okay, so that's March 10th. Sometime next week, I'm going to watch Dune Part 2 on 70mm. And then sometime next week, I'm going to Santa Barbara. I'm thinking of maybe one more adventure. Like maybe I want to go to Hollywood. I want to check out Amoeba Records. For the used Blu-rays, honestly, like, I'm not there to look at records, but that's cool too, Yeah. Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else. Life is boring. Alright, time now is 2:53 p.m. on March 9th. So, yeah, wow, I slept from 5:30 to 2:45. That's fucking insane. That's so late. I wish I could have slept earlier. I don't know what came onto me yesterday, but I was extremely unproductive in the first half, and it is only after dinner, which is around 11 p.m.-ish. No, I think by the time I finished dinner, it was already midnight. I was like, oh shit, I haven't done jack shit today. So I started doing all these things. I watched the teacher's lounge, but I have to skip around as well. And then I edited Love and Death commentary a little bit. I edited my Japan vlog for my Kenzie channel a little bit. And I edited my Io Capitano review a little bit. And then I already ran out of time. So that's fucking insane how time flies. Even though I literally had nothing to do yesterday, aside from going outside and grabbing Taco Bell, I already ran out of time. So that's really crazy. So I hope that doesn't happen today. But yeah, at around 12:15-ish or 12:30, I actually woke up because I can hear my roommate putting clothes into the washer, and I was like, oh shit, I have clothes in the dryer. So I immediately woke up, and I didn't wash my hands or brush my teeth or anything. I just went outside, opened the dryer, grabbed all my clean clothes, and just dumped it all into my closet. all at once. It's not a lot, anyways, but I did that, and then I went back to sleep. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, today again, not a lot of plans, not a lot of plannings. I'm gonna go to H Mart to get some food. I'm gonna buy some sushi for sushi night tonight. I'm gonna brew apple pear pork bone soup without pork bones. I don't have that. I'm gonna do that with pork. It's okay. And then yeah, and then again the usuals. I'll be watching a lot of movies, editing a lot of videos. Really not a lot else to do. Again, if APCA forgets to do an Oscar night thing tomorrow, then I'm just gonna watch the Oscars with Michelle. I got options, bro. And yeah, I don't really have a lot else to talk about, really. Hopefully I get to call Cedric tonight. Have a deep talk with him. I realized that, usually you remember how you usually talk to people. Because in front of every single person, your persona comes off a little different. It's been so long since I've had a real talk with Cedric that I kind of forgot what my persona is when I speak to Cedric, It's kind of crazy. Like, I really forgot when is the last time I had a real talk with him. Yeah. I think it's... When was it? So we last met in, December 2023, which is at, we're at Quarry Bay. And then before that, it was September. We were at Beef Corner, which is a hot pot place, and it was okay meal, very plain conversation. I basically said nothing to him. And then before that, it's got to be sometime during January of 2023. Let me think. Or no, Cedric wasn't even here at that point. I don't think I met Cedric in January. And then in summer of 2022, I did meet Cedric, for the book fair, I believe. Yeah. And then, yeah, and then, yeah, and then before that, I don't know. It's just, I think the last time I had a real talk with Cedric was probably 2021. Was it though? I don't know. Or was it 2020? So I don't know, it's been years. So I don't know. And if I do talk to Cedric, I don't know what to tell him really. I guess I'll talk about life. I'll talk about relationships because that's all 20-year-olds talk about nowadays. Yeah. I just want to have a good ass conversation with him, and yeah, yeah, you know, yeah. So yeah, nothing else then. Nada. I'm thinking of heading to Santa Barbara on Friday. Friday's the best time because Saturday I could just rest and then Sunday I could prep. So I have 2 more days of rest essentially. If I go to Santa Barbara on Friday, I'll, I can have 2 more days of rest on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday I have to go somewhere anyways. Yeah, and then Tuesday if I go with I don't know, if I go back to CMD to color with Cliff on Tuesday, then maybe sometime on Wednesday or Thursday I can travel to Hollywood. Or you know what, screw it, I can just do that on Monday then, can't I? I don't know, I don't know when exactly, do I want to watch Dune Part 2? I guess it just largely depends on Luis. I don't know. For tonight, very nice. Sushi combo. Hilarious. More eggs. All right, got the recipe. I got the sweet date and the almonds, the ginkgo almonds. I got apple and pear. I got some pork here, so let's do it. Let's freaking do it, guys. All in, baby, all in. Let's grab you. Or you know what? Let's grab the spatula. Let's grab the chopsticks. There we go. A nice sear. Right. This is like leftover from last night. It's a little bit glazed with soy sauce, but I don't care. Not a huge difference. All right. Now these. Ah. And then this. Alrighty, it's 9:30. Once again, not a lot happened today. I'm pleased to announce that my fever has pretty much gone away. I'm much more energetic now. My appetite is coming back. I still feel a little dizzy in the morning, but throughout the entire day I haven't taken any pills. This is truly a testament to you know, sleep is a great medicine. But yeah, I did go to H Mart. It was already sunset by the time I finished shopping, and it's really good. Bought loads of shit. Bought $75 worth of shit. Everything from marinated pork belly to, snacks to just a lot of stuff. Banana milk, and I'm happy with what I have. Yeah, the bus journey from K-Town back to, back home is kind of a disaster. Not only am I carrying a gigantic, heavy bag of groceries, I'm also trying my best to survive. Because the bus is jam packed. There are no seats, so I'm standing up the whole time, and there are a lot of people standing up. So I'm trying my best to balance. You know how in MTR in Hong Kong, you sort of squat, so every time it moves left or right, you sort of do this so that you can find the balance. It's like trying to surf, even though I haven't surfed before. But it's way more difficult now that it's jam-packed. But yeah, that was tough. I was on survival mode, pretty much. That's so me. Even trying to take a bus involves so much drama and so much technique and detail and I have to put my left arm around a metal bar. When the bus is like starting to move forward, I need to put it around, and then when the bus is stopping, I need to put it back because it's like moving the other way because of inertia. So it's so trivial. But yeah, nothing else happened today, pretty much. So APCA actually remembered to throw the Oscars party, but it is only announced at around 7 p.m. Equo immediately DM'd me, and I'm like, okay. So I signed up for it. So unfortunately, I won't be seeing Michelle tomorrow, and I won't be going to church tomorrow. But there will be an Oscars watch party from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is a bit weird because I thought it goes way later than that, but alright. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully, I make some friends there. Another incredibly interesting thing is a Reddit post from the USC subreddit saying that some people are beginning to organize a peaceful protest to protest against tuition fee spikes, as well as the cancellation of AAA, which is the Academic Achievement Award scholarships, which is something that I could benefit from as well. I think, I'm not really sure. But the tuition fee spike is definitely something that I would like to protest, so I'm totally down. It's awesome that like this is the track I'm choosing for my USC life. It's the fucking radical leftist protester kind of situation. Apparently, the president of USC, Carol Folt, will be doing some sort of speech commencement on March 26th. So we need to sort of do a protest around that time, maybe a little earlier. And who knows what will happen? But I'm definitely down to protest. And there's actually a petition to sort of like reinstate the AAA. North shared it, and I signed it and I shared it. I'm really proactive in this conundrum. So yeah, we'll see. But truly nothing else to talk about. So far, has it been productive? Has it not? I watched one TV episode, I filmed one review, but I'm sure I can do more later tonight, and hopefully I sleep earlier and earlier by the day. So, yippee-ki-yay. Cedric can call me literally right now, so I'm gonna call him for a little bit. Yes. Okay. Here. Ooh. Tender. Really nice. Alright, let's try the soup. It's my second time. You know what? Let's try the sushi first. It's tuna with a little wasabi. All right, time now is 1:24 p.m. on March 10th. Um, yeah, so goddamn 1/3 of March is already gone. So I slept from 6 a.m. to 12:30. Yeah. Um so last night I actually had a phone call with Cedric, which is fucking insane. Something that I've been dreading to do for months, but also excited to do, But I'm a little bit scared because I haven't had real talk with Cedric for a long time. But yeah, I was like, "Hey, are you awake?" I was like, "Yo, are you awake?" And he's like, "Ish," and I'm like, "Let me know when you're free to talk." And he's like, "In 5 minutes, I'll be ready in 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay." So over 5 minutes have passed, and he's like, "Well, I'm ready now," you know. And so I'm like, "Okay." So I just pressed the phone call button on WhatsApp, and just freaking called him. Oh my god, my hair is fucking awful. Um, Jesus Christ. Okay, we'll figure this out. Um, right now we'll figure it out. So, um, yeah. So that's it. I called him, and it's not exactly the greatest time because I was about to have dinner. It was 9 something, like 9:20 ish, p.m. Um, or 9:30 ish. But you know what? Screw it. I'll talk to him. So, yeah, I talked to Cedric. And at first I was scared that it's gonna be awkward. At first I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? How's life?" And he, as expected, has nothing to say. He's like, "Oh, nothing, just work and, just work and just going home and work. What do you expect me to say?" And I'm like, "Okay, okay." And he's like, "Yeah, well, my life is kind of boring and kind of empty right now." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can tell." It's Cedric. Of course his life is boring and empty. Um, so anyways, I still have a bunch of hair on my hands. So anyways, there's Cedric. And then, um, yeah, so, what was I gonna say? I continue to talk to him, and I'm like, "Okay, fine. That's part of the reason why I called, because I know his life is boring and everything, so I wanted to, like, bring him back to life in a way, or just, like, share a bit of advice to him so that he can be better, because ultimately he's a friend, even though it doesn't feel like it, but he is a friend, and I would like him to remain a friend to me." So I proceeded to spend the next 40 minutes talking about my own experience, talking about the Mexico incident, and eventually I mentioned Pepper a little bit, and then I talked about Leslie. This is basically the crash course of my experience in LA so far. I mean, of course, given that I only had about an hour to call him, I skipped over many events, but I mainly wanted to tell him about Leslie. So I was like, "Oh, did you know about a Chinese girl?" And then he's like, "Oh, I thought it's a Japanese girl." And I'm like, "Well, okay, well, you have no idea what the fuck just happened. You're in for a ride." So I told the story of Leslie all over again. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. He was talking about Leslie while not being in love with her is a totally different vibe. Like, while telling Cedric about Leslie, I started to like reevaluate myself. Like, oh yeah, why did I even fall in love with her in the first place? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, whoa. Like, I don't know why, but like, it doesn't make sense anymore. But like, a while ago, it still does. But anyways, I got Cedric to tell me his troubles before I start talking about my troubles. So I just straight up told Cedric, like, oh, by the way, Natalie told me that you broke up with Sharon. Um, and then I asked Cedric, so are you feeling sad sometimes? And Cedric's like, oh, well, yeah, sometimes a bit sad, but I mean, not sad, but you know what I mean, just like I keep trying and I keep failing, so at some point I just accept the reality and just, I just keep failing and I'm like, try what? And I know what he's talking about, but I want him to say it from his mouth. I know what he's referring to. It's online dating. So he told me, oh, I know it sounds a bit cringy, but Tinder, it doesn't work. And I'm like, I laugh and I said, haha, that's a good advice. Yes, I know that you're online dating because Natalie already told me. Natalie tells everyone everything. He has a big mouth. So I talked about Leslie and I just told him, like, it's a very good perspective from me because I haven't dated two. I mean, to be fair, Cedric has dated like twice, but dated as as a young adult? No. Cedric has dated twice, but both of them are also, teenage dates, which, if anything, is a mature version of date. It's not the real, mutual respect, all that jazz. So, I just told him my experience with Leslie and how it sort of fell apart, and I was like, hey, word of advice, just don't even think about love. Don't. Just, if you don't find someone interesting, then just don't. And instead focus on yourself. I also, just gave him a bunch of advice, like, just don't think too much about the future, think of short-term goals. What are you gonna have for dinner tonight? Stuff like that. So, there's a stupid food truck again. Bum 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 bum. This okay. Anyways, yeah. So after a while, Cedric's like, okay, I would like to talk to you more, but now is not a good time because I don't feel like talking. And I'm like, okay, sure, take your time. And then I said goodbye. So it went smoothly because I was able to immediately get into the zone of talking to him, even though I haven't had a real talk with him since years. But it's, worked out at the end because I don't know. But, I think it's very interesting because, like, now we are on a timeline where I have to give Cedric a pep talk. In the world of secondary school in Hong Kong, I am the underdog, and I am the one who needs pep talks because I am vulnerable and immature. But somehow the tables have turned, and I am giving Cedric a pep talk, and one that is very positive. Sure, I haven't dated at all, but I've still experienced things. And I also told Cedric, like, everyone's struggling with something. Like, Cedric's struggling with love, me too. I'm also struggling in LA for doing film, studying. Natalie's struggling with something. I told Cedric that I feel that Natalie looks down on me sometimes, but maybe it's just me. But Natalie's also struggling with, being sad, and, life is repetitive, even though she already has a job and an internship and a boyfriend, like, shut the fuck up, you're successful. And then Leia's struggling because finding romantic interest as a trans woman is very difficult. So, everyone's struggling. But yeah, anyways, I had dinner. I brewed an apple pear soup. Honestly, second time brewing it, it's 100 times more easy, and it tastes pretty good. So, hey, again, mostly thanks to the date, the sweet date that I put into the soup. It's a major component. And then there's a time change. There's the daylight savings time change, spring forward. I didn't even know that it's last night. I forgot. So at some point I looked at my phone and I'm like, what the fuck, is 3 a.m. already? So I continued to edit some videos, and then I ended up watching one episode of Evangelion, and I'm like, screw it, I have to go to bed. And then I realized, oh, it's the daylight savings change. That's why it's suddenly 3 a.m. It's suddenly 3 a.m. It's supposed to be 2 a.m., but it's suddenly 3 a.m. So I went to bed at 6 a.m. last night, which is actually 5 a.m., which is already in and of itself extremely late, but then it turned into 6 a.m. Then this just goes into perspective that, holy cow. So 3 p.m. today, the Oscar ceremony starts, which means it's actually 2 p.m. So it's crazy. You know, I hate daylight savings change. This morning I got a DM from the person who organized the Oscars watch party, and it's actually Lillian, the Chinese woman who was one of the producers. Or I guess it's a casting director of Anywhere the Wind Blows. Or one of the producers, kind of one of the casting director, sure. But I didn't realize last night. I thought it's another Lillian. And then she DM'd me and she was like, oh, do you need a ride? Oh, by the way, Allegro will be there too. So it's interesting how Allegro, Equo, North would be there. And I already know all those people. So yeah. At the end of the day, it's the same group of people after all. But yeah, I hope I socialize more. And that's pretty much it. Nothing else. Yeah, oh yeah, I had a nightmare. It's a Buddhism-inspired nightmare. It's like these paintings of like people in Chinese clothing, but their face is blackened and blurred, and it's really scary. And then their dead bodies wrapped around in like cloth and suspended midair, and it's very spooky. And then it's an apartment. Walked out the door, I walked down this very dark hallway, and suddenly some child grabs my hand, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I wanted to grab the child's neck and choke it. So that happened. Yeah. Alright. Heading over to the Oscars watch party. I am severely late, as expected. I hate daylight savings. Yeah.
Just 2 are not sure. Yes. I think the 2 extras are not sure.
Well, I will not be betting, but I will be doing this for fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
Super.
Thank you.
I often bet the wrong one.
Barbie.
Okay. I don't have a bet for that, unfortunately.
What an achievement to take a plastic doll nobody even liked anymore. I mean, like before this movie, you don't have to bet.
Bro, what is this?
We gotta work together.
Maybe it's a
Where's Aquaman when we need him?
A shrieker
1 minute for 1
across the
minute.
street.
He said what used to be the
right
craziest
across the
moment.
stage today.
Crazier than getting slapped on
Young man
stage.
ran across the stage today.
Feel like.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
No way!
I can't come now. Do the thing. Excuse me for a second. What's going on? We're supposed to run across the stage.
I changed my mind. I don't want to use street clothes.
You don't want to do it. Why not?
Dude, I wrestle naked. I wrestle in jorts.
Shorts are worse than naked. Come on. You're really not going to do this? Fine, just give out the award then. God. Awards.
Bro. No! ABC is so desperate for views right now. ABC is so desperate for views.
The Oscar. Oh my god, you're so right. He's a poor thing.
He's the poor thing.
He is the poor.
Oh my god, no! Come here, hurry!
Costume design.
Yeah.
Costume design. Killers of the Flower Ridge. Costume design.
In there.
For those two.
Oh, nice.
Poor things.
Oh, let's go! Poor sweep, poor sweep.
Oh my god.
She's having devious thoughts.
She's like, yeah.
Are you good?
Look, congratulations.
And the Oscar goes to...
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Okay, that's why I think they will win for from Dr.
And he broke the curse. He broke the Iron Man curse.
Period!
Bro, thank the Iron Man.
He loves doing that.
Wait, I want to hear a speech.
Thanks, Jan. Thanks, fellas. That's amazing. You only float one line.
Jesus Christ.
I'd like to thank my terrible childhood.
Billie Eilish is
Billie
back.
Eilish in the back.
The pig!
Yo.
I was about gonna do a B-roll for this too.
I can't explain. Driving me insane. All my life. I'll sleep alone tonight. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Is it my destiny?
Security features, which is... Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month with free advanced Wi-Fi and a free...
Birds go above and beyond in their commitment to a role, just as Daniel Day-Lewis stayed in character as Lincoln. This past year, Paul Giamatti was so committed that for the character to have a
Scorsese ever won any?
No, he won for best The Departed.
Studios, Larry, thank you for seeing
Which-
this film is based on. I have so many people to thank. The most incredible cast: Matt Damon, Robert, Emily, Florence, just so many others, all at the top of their game. And it's my honor to say
Yes.
10 wonderful films were nominated, but only one will take the award for
Imagine if it's my
best.
show. Yeah, how much?
And Maria, I see Oppenheimer.
Oh, that was anticlimactic. Why did he announce it like that?
Wait. How are the nominations?
That's crazy.
Uh,
I don't know how I feel about being someone that's...
Gaylord in like medieval font.
How do I put it?
Excellent photo opportunity.
Like, technical person, you know? I'm literally, like being an engineer, for example, I literally can never picture myself being an engineer. Or someone like it's, and I'm kind of from my age too, it's like, I don't know if it would have been if I got in, but it's fine if I didn't. It's honestly okay that I'm not in there.
You know, like people that
Alright, time now is 11:36 p.m. Woohoo! So, yeah, today is day 3? Day 3 of spring break. Day 3 out of 10. And, it's not bad. It's not bad. I woke up at, I woke up at, like, afternoon at around 1, but I still felt like shit. It's kind of crazy that I slept at 6 a.m. Like, imagine if spring break doesn't exist and the daylight savings happen. I would just get completely fucked. Because I was already struggling to sleep early before spring forward, which is daylight savings. When spring forward happens, I will have to wake up an hour even earlier, so it would suck even harder. So that's crazy. I'm gonna try my best to sleep early, and it would be a very good practice for me to sleep earlier, because at some point a few days later I'll be going to Santa Barbara anyways, and for that I need to wake up early, travel to Union Station, take a bus, all that jazz, you know. So that's that. But yeah. So I really don't know what's gonna happen with today's Oscar watch party. Immediately after I woke up, Lillian DM'd me in Slack, which is like Discord, but different. And APCA is on Slack. She's like, "Oh, what's your number?" And I typed my phone number. No, she first asked me if I need a ride, and I'm like, yes. And then a little bit later, she asked me for my number, and I gave her my number, and then I realized that there's a typo. So I was like, oh my god. And at that point, it was like 2 p.m. already, and I'm like, oh my god, am I too late? Because the party begins at 3, and it's like, fuck. Am I too late? Was I too late? Like, I don't know what to do. The Oscars are starting soon, and I don't know. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. I check Slack. I check my texts. There's nothing. So at some point at around 2:30 or 2:40 p.m., I realized, oh yeah, Lillian also gave me her phone number in that huge DM paragraph. Which she almost acts like a producer. I mean, she probably is kind of a producer person, so she doesn't just DM like, yo, hit me up. Like, she DMs like all these information. Like, okay, so if you need a ride, type this emoji. If you don't need a ride, type this emoji. This is my phone number. You can contact me here, blah, 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 blah. So I pressed onto her phone number, and I entered texting with her, and I'm like, oh, there are downloadable files. And part of me thought that that was from the Anywhere the Wind Blows era, but no, it was from earlier today. It turns out I'm being added in a group chat in text, but I didn't know because I'm using an Android. And people are saying, okay, let's meet up at 3:15 at Target. Oh my god. So I immediately finish whatever I'm finishing. I finished eating some sushi, and then I just left. I wanted to catch a bus, but I was too late, so fuck it, fine, I'm gonna walk. So I walked to Target, which was very fast. I'm a really fast walker, and also the more I walk this road, the faster I get for some reason. So it took me about like 18 minutes for me to arrive at the Target. So I arrived there, and I saw a girl sitting at the side, at the curb, sorta. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and she waved. So I went over, and I assumed that that's one of the girls who's in the party. And she's like, hi, I'm Audrey. And I'm like, oh, I'm Enoch. So turns out she is one of the girls. She's Asian. She's half Chinese, half white. She immediately explained that to me. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm in APCA, but I still look white. But, I'm actually Asian. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I'm from Hong Kong. So we went into Target to look for another person, but turns out that other person is waiting for us outside, and that person is Jake, who is half Japanese, half something else, probably also white, who I've met before in APCA. He didn't recognize me at first, but later he's like, oh, right, yeah. So later on, Lillian picked all 4 of us up and drove us to her apartment in K-Town, which is this very fancy place. It felt like a hotel. And then we sort of arrived at her apartment, and it looks beautiful. Crazy city view, very clean. She owns 2 cats, large TV, a piano. Like, bro, what kind of apartment does she live in? Jesus. She even printed some ballots to vote for the Oscars to see, like Oscars predictions, just for funsies. So we sat down and waited, and more people joined. So this person called Jamie joined, and I thought it's Jamie, the Chinese girl. I thought there could only be one Chinese girl by the name of Jamie, but no, another girl showed up. I don't know if she's like ethnically Chinese, but I can tell she's Asian American, and her name is also Jamie, but she's a completely different person. She's younger, and she acts like a Christian. I don't know why, but like that's a new term I give to a certain type of people. It just reminds me, like, she just feels like a Christian. And then more and more people joined. A couple of Lillian's friends joined, and then very much later North joined, and then very much later before that Equo joined, and then long time later, maybe 1.5 hours into the ceremony, Allegro joined. So finally we're all here, about 10 people ish, and it's nice. And then we just watched it. I sat on the ground, I ate some potato chips, some Oreos, and then we talked and chatted a little bit. I feel a little weird because I'm filming a lot for my video, but you know. Yeah, the Oscars itself is okay. It's kind of predictable, honestly. And then afterwards, we just immediately left, and that's it. It's not much, honestly, but it's okay because at least I'm going somewhere. At least I'm meeting people. It's a good start, you know? It's a good freaking start. Again, I'm not putting a lot of expectations into social events like this. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna meet some really interesting artsy people. Like, no. But it's okay, because at least I did something. At least I went outside today and met some people. And also, it's not really that awkward for me because I already know Equo, Allegro, Lillian, and North. Like, I already know four of the people there. So it's like, you know, it's okay. It's funny though, I didn't get anyone else's Instagram, but I probably should. And yeah, it's a good thing that the Oscars just ended at 7 p.m. It ended really fast, so I literally went home, Equo drove me home, and we talked a little bit about spring break plans, and Equo, and jobs and work visas, and Equo was like, yeah, you know, I'm not going anywhere during spring break either. So Equo drove me home, and then that's it, and then I had all the time to cook dinner, and rest, and tonight I even have time to watch some TV show, edit videos, the usual, so that's very nice. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, chill, nothing else. Yeah, so that's good. It's good that the Oscars isn't like 8 hours long. I remember back in 2022 when I watched the Oscars alone in the Airbnb, and I had to pay for like a Tubi subscription. Or not, I didn't pay anything. It was a free trial just so that I can watch the Oscars. And I even bought like a dinner so that I can eat it halfway through and everything. But today it just felt like just a quick event, you know, like nothing fancy. And then that's pretty much it. So tomorrow, so Jonathan randomly texted me saying, okay, I'm free tomorrow, I'm free on Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm like, well, I can do tomorrow or Thursday. And then later on I told Jonathan, you know what, tomorrow would be nice actually, because I wanted to buy a cabinet, like one that looks exactly like this, and then I'm going to stack it on top of here. But I need a car. I'm not going to carry that thing and walk 30 minutes or bring it onto a bus. And Jonathan might be able to help me with that. So I might just ask him for his help. And I kind of want to do that tomorrow. Plus, I want to buy a hairdryer, a non-stick pan, and what else was I going to buy? Something else. A toilet paper rack. That's it. And also I get to test out the Blu-rays to see if they work or not. Otherwise, I would have nothing to do tomorrow, which is bad because after all, spring break is only 10 days. And if I don't know, if I spend more days doing nothing, it's like, well, I'm just wasting time. I want to do productive things, or at least things that are fun to me. So, yeah. So I'm down with Jonathan coming to help out tomorrow. But I need to figure out how to connect the PS4 to the TV outside. First and foremost. And also it's a little bit scary because part of me thinks that out of all the 20 Blu-rays I have right now, some of them probably don't work. And I'm kind of scared. I hope they all work, but part of me thinks some of them won't work, and I'm really scared. So, yeah, we'll see. The ones that I bought that are brand new, like the Criterions or the Old Boy, or even the ones from Hong Kong, they should work. But the ones on eBay, the Mercury ones, the secondhand ones, I'm scared. Fallen Angels? Shoot. So, yeah. Also earlier today, Nick, who is in the Cliff Gang, Nick from the Cliff Gang, suggested, hey, let's buy Dune tickets, and shows a ticket for Tuesday, 10 p.m. at AMC Burbank. First of all, I'm not going to fucking Burbank, let alone going there at 10 p.m. Also, that's digital IMAX, not 70mm IMAX. So I'm like, well, why not on my IMAX? And Nick was like, okay, another day. And I'm like, okay, then I'll just wait for that. So yeah, instead on Tuesday, I would like to color my short film with Cliff. So I'm going to focus on that. And then that's it. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, not sure. Thursday, not sure. I believe I'm going to Santa Barbara either on a Friday or a Saturday. The thing is, I want to go on a Friday because Saturday and Sunday. Because if I go on Friday, then Saturday I can sleep the whole day. I cannot sleep the whole day on Sunday. Why? Because I gotta go to Evangelion. So I gotta wake up slightly earlier. Also, I gotta prepare for Monday again. Right? So yeah, Friday is the ideal date. Which means that either Wednesday or Thursday, I would like to, watch Dune Part 2 one of those days and visit Amoeba Records one of those days. Or not. That is optional. Or maybe I would just hang out with Michelle on one of those days. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else.